Gavra Racing's GT3 series. I am Cypher77,
I'm Dutch Muso.
and we're here to bring you live racing coverage of these GT3 guys here at the very, very interesting circuit of Long Beach. So then, last week at Oulton Park saw none other than Cadillac break the Audi winning streak, as Dalavan was able to get the win and best Razy and Mike on the rest of the podium. This week, we have more or less a packed grid as these guys will take the highly congested street circuit in both real and video game life. So, what do you think about it?
It's going to be an interesting race. I think we might see a bit of a Monaco here, but the front straight is long enough to make a pass as a very possible thing.
Indeed, overtakes will be quite bold to say the least here, but not impossible. Of course, we were able to see plenty of drivers make overtakes at Oulton Park, so really it only takes one mistake, honestly. With a packed grid here today. Sorry, go ahead.
I think this will definitely be a circuit of, as long as you can keep it out of the wall and on the track, then you're good to go.
Indeed. But with a packed grid here today, I believe all the manufacturers are here except for the second McLaren, I believe. I'll have to check up on that later, but right now the Audis, even still after Oulton Park, still have quite a dominant lead, although I believe the championship has switched hands. I'll check up on that real quick. So yes, while Kev and Kaz hold the team championship for Audi at the moment, the current championship leader is Kaz, who only has about a 4-point gap over Dalavan in second place in the Cadillac, followed by Flip in the Ginetta, who's in third place.
Wait, that's confusing to me. Wait, that's just got a one grid place penalty. The track penalties.
Yes, already. Probably for the pit lane, because the pit lane here is rather interesting here. If anyone's seen real life Long Beach, you know that they're very strict about pit lane violations here.
But it says track lanes, so I'm confused.
Because like the pit lane like merges onto the track here.
Oh, okay.
It's really only separated by a yellow line. But hello to everyone who's joining us here in the chat. This is merely only practice so far. These guys were able to set times in the 1:17 range, so we expect that for qualifying. And as you can also clearly see, this will be one of our very few night races on the season.
The last one we had at Dubai, I think, was pretty exciting as well, so let's see if this can be just as good.
Yes, clear skies are looking to be in the forecast as well. As you see, Mike, who was able to score a podium last week for the Mercedes. There's some bit of redemption, really, after the luck he's had earlier in the season, but I'm sure he would like to go for his first win on the trot. Some others looking for a win today include the Nissans today, who also look decently strong, so Bowie's one to watch. Hondax 2, who we always expect to be a competitor, as well as Flip and Razy in both the Ginettas. And I'd say even the Bentleys have a pretty decent shot here as well. So yes, Johnny is here, I believe, in the sole McLaren entry today. Do you have any experience around this track in particular?
No, actually not too much, because this isn't really one of my favorite circuits, but it's quite a fun circuit to race on. But you do have to be very wary of each other, because you can easily accidentally send someone into the wall. Right. Not very fun times.
I personally like this track, honestly. I mean, IMSA is one of the, not the only, actually no, there are a few series who come here. IMSA is just the most prominent series that comes to Long Beach, and races are always enjoyable, and I always love racing this track, whether it be an LMP2 or a GT3 car. It's a very bumpy circuit, though. It upsets the car a lot, as you can clearly see. You know, the tire barriers don't really help to give the drivers much confidence. But I think that's the factor that we'll be seeing today, is confidence.
That is also something I'm seeing here. A lot of these drivers are actually drifting around all these corners. Just getting the rear out a little bit, trying to actually turn the car.
Yeah, obviously, we're at nighttime, track is cool, so definitely just be interesting conditions for all these guys, really. One thing we do have to be very careful about is, for one, the pit lane as well as the front straight rules. Now, I believe in the past you were able to use the pit lane straight to get an advantage going into turn 1. Now, I believe the drivers have been warned about using that to gain an advantage on this track, because not only is it very dangerous if someone happens to be coming out of pit road, it also sort of counts as an unreasonable advantage. So I believe the rule is that they're allowed to use it in turn 1, but after that, any further usage of the pit lane exit in turn 1 will be looked at and reviewed after the race.
Yeah, and it is also just the track extension, because it's not really part of the track, I guess you could say. So.
Yeah. But as practice is winding down, it is Bowie currently with the 1:18.5 from Mike in second place, followed by UV in the Cadillac. So UV showing quite decent pace over his Cadillac teammate. Actually, the top 5 separated by less than 5/10. Everyone, or most of the field setting in representative times. There are still some penalties and such that have carried over from the last race. I believe Kev and Flip have respective penalties that still carry over into this race, so we'll have to see on that front. So we'll have to wait and see on a confirmation from that.
We are missing a driver, though.
Yeah, Flip, I believe he'll be coming back in. But I'm personally looking forward to this race. I think it'll be very entertaining. Obviously, some of the fastest lap times around here because it's a very short circuit. If I had to pick a manufacturer that had a decent advantage here, your money would most likely be on the Ginettas, right?
It's a bit hit or miss, I think, because you do have, the straights are very long. And then where you do actually have corners, it's not much of an advantage, because the corners are just so short.
Right. Definitely, there are a lot of manufacturers who can gain some advantage out of this track, especially probably with the Mercedes and some of the rear traction that they get on a track like this. But as it stands in practice, it is Bowie, Mike, and UV, you top 3, the Nissan, Mercedes, and Cadillac, respectively. So the first Audi of Kaz pretty far down the field in 7th place. We wonder if that is a sign of things to come later on. Of course, Daza still with his 1-place grid penalty. Wait and see how that carries over into the race. Razy also pretty far down, but usually makes it up in qualifying.
I don't know how the race was with the Ginettas last week, but hoping the Ginettas can pull out a good win today, or not even a win, just a good position today. So I've had a bit of bad luck here and there.
Right. Well, we'll do what we usually do and just go on board the first driver out the pit lane and see what a lap around this track is like. Your first-person view of this place to be none other than quite the spectacle.
That's a Merc in front, right? Let's see which Merc that is.
Hondax.
Yes.
You can kind of just see just how much space these GT3 cars take up around here. Sure, they have the speedometer and stuff also up as well.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, flip is back, so we are now in qualifying, and we're not really sure who has the best car suited for this. I think my money's still gonna be on the Ginettas, but I'm simply not sure just yet. Maybe Bowie and the Nissan's got something for this track, we'll have to wait and see, but...
I'm not actually sure with the Ginettas because the straights are surprisingly long here. And you know, you need that acceleration and a little bit of that top speed to help.
Well, either way, we're on board with Hondax. It goes down the lovely Marina Straight, I believe it's called. One of these is called the Marina Straight, but as you can see, going into turn 1, already the traffic of Long Beach is showing its problematic side, and although it gets through and goes through the fountain section of turn 2 and 3 here, and make sure to line yourself up not to take too much of the curve or else you'll go on 2 wheels. Also be sure not to hit the wall on exit, then you have this incredibly bumpy and awkward curve section as you go off camber, very close to the wall there by Hondax, and you have to pick your braking zone by the 300-meter board. Be sure to get it slowed down, don't get the car too close to the tire barrier, that could cause a problem with the rear of the car, then get the car slowed down again. Gets through very lovely. This might be the Marina Straight, I'm not really sure which one is called the Marina Straight, I'll have to look that up. But then as you go into...
with the Marina.
Then you go into this very awkward double left-hander, and then you have to slow all the way down the first gear to get around the hairpin. And that is a lap of Long Beach by Hondax. Is it good enough for a representative time? Start-finish is pretty far down. It is 1:17.8 by Hondax. Although that is with minimal traffic. Flip is now on his lap. He was the car who came out of pit road. Already have a huge gaggle in the second sector too. On the Dalaman, he's going in the 120, so he's way far off, as well as Kaz is second with the 119. Bowie, I think, abandoned his lap. I'm not too sure. Jukebox with a lot of fuel. I'm pretty sure this is just a time to get on the board. He does go fourth. 123.7. There's a lot of drivers actually behind him. Razy across the line. Donkey, they go fourth and fifth. Joe going seventh. And then Toby actually goes all the way up to second, but then gets pit by Mike in the other Mercedes, excuse me. Flip around the last hairpin turn. Under the Toyota banner, goes across the line, and he sets himself up into second. 1:18.5, so Honda's the only one so far to get a time in the 1:17s. Of course, it kind of just becomes a matter of how many, or how much of the track limits are you willing to take without getting caught, really. Johnny going around once again. Ooh, Bowie. A little bit of slide with the wall there. That might have hindered his entrance into that turn. But qualifying is always quite a spectacle here. Always wonders how much are you willing to push the car, especially at a track like this. Ooh!
Whoa!
Porsche does, I believe. Got around, be careful with the Bentley behind him. But Bowie across the line. Still only 13, so this is to start his lap.
Oh.
Hondex is back out there for another run at it. Yep, I believe. Yeah, since the 5 minutes is over, I believe Kev is now allowed to start his times now. UV also yet to set in a time, as well as Bowie. He was looking fast in practice, just yet to set a time in just yet. So UV's across the line in the Cadillac to go P3. So very nice from UV, but then gets hit by Johnny in the McLaren, and then gets hit by Dalavan, who goes up a third. Well, so that drops Flip down to 4th, but then he gets hit by Kev, who goes up to 4th now as well. So, a lot of slipstreaming actually going on here, I imagine. Which that might just be the condensed nature of the track, really. This Bowie just getting really close to the back of the Bentley, and just gets out of the way there. Just enough for representative time, though. The Ginetta across the line, no time improvement. Bowie across the line to go P3, 1:18.2. Donkey only moving up to 13th though, so Jukebox moved down to 14th. I believe that's the Ginetta up ahead. That might be Flip as well as Daza comes across the line. No improvement from the Ginetta. Daza with a penalty, it looks like. Well, he actually already started off with a penalty, so this is his representative time. And already 3 minutes left in qualifying, and it looks like practically nothing has happened yet. So I'd say if you're not out now, you might be calling it quits for qualifying. Well, I mean, you definitely need to find some space.
Yeah.
So it could take a little bit to get yourself in position, really. You certainly do not want to be running up behind another driver on your quali lap. But right now, it is currently Honda still with the 1:17. Oh, actually, Bowie puts in the time 1:17.86. Him just about 200s faster than Hondax there. So the Nissan does take the current pole as it stands. Hondax, although a 10th up. So if he can put this together, he will get past Bowie. I believe he's got his teammate Mike behind him. That's correct. Oh no, that's one of the Cadillacs. That might be Dalavan, actually. Very slidey off the last corner, but across the line. This is going to be a pole time. No, 200s down, actually. And no improvement from either of the Cadillacs on that lap. Bowie also looking down on his time.
Kevin, Joe, done qualifying.
Bowie on the pole lap. He's got one of the Ginettas behind him. Hondax has decided to call it quits. McLaren of Johnny goes up to 3rd. And Bowie does go faster. 1:17.7 from him. We've only a small bit of improvement from Razy there, and moves him up to 10th. UV has decided to call it quits. Flip moved all the way down to 8th, so this would be a little bit of a... Well, as he moves back up to 5th, actually, just there. So going to see a bit of a last-ditch effort. Still plenty of drivers out there. Miss Johnny just hits the wall there. Although still going quite fast. So who knows, maybe that helped him if he didn't damage his front tire. going. This could be near about a pole time. Johnny can put this all together. The first time the McLaren has showed this kind of pace.
It will be a pole time. He lost a lot of time in that last corner, but he's confirmed his position.
Mike only going up to 4th. Johnny stays in 3rd.
And that last corner, he really lost a lot of time. He understeered through there and almost hit the wall.
Crazy goes faster, but still stays in 10th. Toby, I believe, also goes faster. Flip, I believe, one of the last drivers out there on representative times. Currently sitting 6th. Looks like no improvement there either, but will Flip improve? He moves up to 4th in the Ginetta. Jukebox is in as well. Razy also in. The Donkey's still on the track as well. And the other Porsche. Across the line, it looks like it'll only be... Oh, he moved up to 12th actually there at the death.
Yeah.
So as it stands, it is Nissan, Mercedes, and McLaren, so it looks like I was way far off. But I had a feeling that Bowie was gonna be up there. I did practice with him, so I guess I should have seen this coming. But there you have it, is Bowie, Hondax, Johnny, Flip, Mike, Kev, Kaz, Dalavan, UV, Razy, your top 10. And then 11th is Toby, the Donkey, Joe, Jukebox, and Daza in 15th. And Daza with his replace penalty will start at the back anyways, so there you have it.
But if you look at the sector times, pretty much, no, the only place where Bowie really gains is sector 1, and then sector 2 he loses, and then he gains pretty much the perfect amount of time in sector 3.
Yes, and once again the drivers will have to check their fuel, but we here in the booth can also check it with our speedometer, so... Let's see, 4th time's the charm to get this rundown of the grid correct, so here goes nothing. Starting on pole with an incredible time, it is Bowie in the Nissan. Can he turn his luck around? It will have to start today. And alongside of him is Hondax. Can he get his first win for the Mercedes guys? In row 2, it is Johnny in the McLaren putting in a good performance, although can he make it stick here today? He led some laps at Olton, but has to finish the job, followed by Flip in the 2nd row as well in the first of the Ginettas. Starting in row 3, it is Mike in the other Mercedes, starting pretty deep midfield, but he can make it up, as well as 6th, which is Kev in the Audi. So both the Audis starting really close together. We'll have to keep an eye on that, because row 4, it is Kaz in the other Audi, as well as Dalavan in the Cadillac. And then UV in the Cadillac as well, also starting really close to his teammate. As well as Razy in 10th, who starts in the 2nd Audi. Row 6 starts with Toby and the Donkey lining up side by...
Wait, Razy in the 2nd Audi? Razy's in the Ginetta.
I mean, Ginetta, excuse me. They look the same color to me, I apologize. It's gonna really take 5 rounds for me to get this right. Moving on, 11th would be Toby, and then 12th would be the Donkey. 13th is Joe Black, 14th Jukebox, and Dazo is 15th in the last row of the grid.
Wait, Jukebox only on 40 liters though. Just really checking. Johnny needs to maybe check his fuel. Naughty. And Bowie.
Like I said, it might be...
He starts at 71 liters.
I was gonna say it might be different for us if it's like 71.
Yeah, I mean that might just be the laps thing.
Either way, we are to 4 red lights here at Long Beach, and we'll have to pray for a really good start, and they do get off the line really good. That's actually the Audi of Kev who gets a really good start. He's actually able to challenge it just a little bit, although that is Hondax looking to make the move on Bowie, kind of gets the door shut on him. Although Hondax not going to give up, he's going to make an attempt over the 3 right behind him. Audi, Ginetta, and Mercedes line by side. They'll have to figure it out as there's a slight bit of contact with the Cadillac, and even Audi and the Mercedes. I believe that's Kaz going around is behind them. That is Dalavan in the Cadillac who is spun around. And Razy also getting the worst of that too. He's down to 14th already. through the second sector. Zubi being challenged by Toby in the Nissan there for 8th place, excuse me. Further, Theodolivan lost a lot of time in the Cadillac with his spin there. Looked like he had made contact with, I believe it was either a Ginetta or an Audi. To go back and see. Meanwhile, up front it is a clean start as Bowie leads from now Johnny, who takes second place. Hondak's now on the defensive from Kempsonell. They're fighting for third place. Behind them, Mercedes teammate of Mike defending from Flip in the Ginetta. Ooh, we have one car in the wall. Was that the Donkey?
Yep.
Looks like he might have lost the braking a little bit, although kept it together. So one Porsche, one Cadillac already involved in an incident. We'll go a little bit further back in the field, though. I believe Kaz and Toby going at it as well. Actually, Toby able to make the move, although gets put into the wall, I believe. Just kind of lost his braking, quite heavy contact with the wall, and I don't know if Kaz picked up any damage from that as well. You can definitely see at the end of that, Toby picked up major amounts of damage from the tire wall. And oh, up ahead, is that Kev in the wall as well? Kev is in the wall, actually. Be careful. Ooh, one of the Bentleys collided with him. Was that Joe?
No, it was... I have no idea who it was, but...
It was definitely a Bentley. It might have been Joe who had made heavy contact with the sideways Audi of Kev. And also Daza has huge damage as well. Someone got absolutely blindsided there. And I think it was one of the Bentleys. His jukebox is up to 9th, so it had to have been Joe who had made contact there.
Yeah, he's right behind Kev.
And so we'll have to see is... Further down the field, they have not spread out just yet. They are still in the back. Toby's still fighting UV, although it's a pretty bad run off the final corner. We were kind of worried about that kind of thing happening if a car just kind of hit the tire barrier and sort of got sprung out in the middle of the field. It seems like everyone's still looking to... Still not going to pit. It seems like the damage was not major.
Yeah, just Taliban's bit.
It was Zubi on the inside of the Audi. Very unorthodox place to make a move. I don't know how he was going to get that done, but he certainly made an attempt.
I think it was just a little bit of a scare, see if he could get a cat to make a mistake.
Ooh, behind them, that's one of the cars around. That's Kev, I believe, again, who was spun around in the same place I believe he did before. It looked like he had caught the curb there. So...
He only actually managed to keep pace with Bowie, though.
Yeah, that's happening further ahead, sorry. Seems to be a lot of action happening. Oh, as Johnny clips the last corner there. The hairpin.
I'm counting that one.
What is it? Commentator's curse?
Yes.
What are we on, like number 5, 6?
No, we must be 4. This is race 4. Yeah, well, I don't know how many you had at Alton Park, but...
Just one.
Just want to kind of note that down.
Ooh, it's just up ahead. Mike made a little bit of contact with the wall too, as now Toby has decided to pit for his damage. Johnny is again looking to make a move. Be very careful.
We're on
that
9.
Kev also in the pits for his damage to that Audi, so it'll be quite the makeup drive for him. Oh, it's just up ahead. The points leader is spun around. That is Kaz. Luckily, I think the Ginetta Jukebox and Razy have not caught up to him yet. And now Kaz under heavy pressure from Razy, who is also trying to get back into this race. I haven't even had a moment to look at the comments yet. So how is this race able to continue? Well, we have standards. I mean,
What do you mean?
I was saying this race shouldn't even be here because of the coronavirus.
No, no, all corona patients have been shipped off to which side of which side of the US is this? West?
This is Florida, right?
Yeah, East Coast. And all the corona patients have been shipped off to the West Coast for this race weekend.
Yeah,
they've all been forcibly moved for quarantine on the West Coast.
What he said. Anyways. Well, further up the field, it is Bowie still leading, but not Neil on the back. We still have plenty of drivers just kind of getting it all wrong. I think Kev is now in the middle of the pack once again after his pit stop. I think that Audi is just I think that Audi has just been a little bit unsettled. Definitely does not like the curbs of this track.
I mean, Cass spun out in the corner where
Kev.
Kev got it wrong.
Meanwhile, this is Bentley Joe moving up into 9th place. You can see just there, that's the donkey there. The background there, the Porsche. Then up ahead is Razy, so all these guys still trying to make haste. Overall, this is still a very long race. Only 7 minutes have passed, and there's still plenty of time for anything to happen, really. To be frank, though, it hasn't ended as worse as some people have possibly feared. And I know some people in the Discord chat were worried about how this would end.
Oh,
it's Kev.
That will not be good for Audi.
Yeah, so Kev already scoring 0 points for the Audi here today. That'll be a huge detriment into the manufacturer and teams championships. As Audi are desperately kind of trying to stay ahead of the Cadillac and the Mercedes boys at this point. Speaking of them, both of the Mercedes are actually doing incredibly well so far today. Johnny's still keeping up on the pace of Honda's for 2nd place.
Yeah, you see the Darren seems to have a bit of a tendency to understeer. I was coming, I just can't seem to get it turned around.
Yeah, through that turn, it might just kind of be due to certain steering axes and that sort of mechanisms in the car. But like I said, it could just be a manufacturer by manufacturer basis as well.
Okay, remember the top speed that Joe reaches now? 250, right? I want to see what racing is.
Or 115 miles per hour. As the Donkey now pits from 11th place in the Porsche. Very unorthodox time to actually pit, but we'll see if that works out for him. He was ahead Hondax and Johnny, I believe, really close, as well as Mike and Flip as well. There's definitely a multitude of battles going on here. I think the car ahead just kind of starts slowing up a little bit. The car behind really doesn't have too many opportunities to pass unless they really get the run through the corner. It looks like Johnny kind of got really anywhere to go with that.
Oh.
Meanwhile, Joe, though, he was able to get the move done on Razy, so he is up into 8th place in the Bentley. While Daza in as well for the Porsche. Oh yes, you're checking Razy's top speed this lap.
240 he had in kilometers now, so he's 10 kilometers an hour slower.
Or 149 in miles per hour, so about 6 miles per hour.
There is a noticeable difference.
True, but I mean, on a track like this, expect them to make gains in the corners, though.
Yeah.
In all fairness, Flip isn't too far from Mike. You can actually see them there in the distance, so they're not out of it by any means necessary. But Bowie has definitely checked out right now.
you said height, I'm a head out.
Yes, thank you for that.
Yeah, we gotta keep it. We gotta keep in touch with the Gen Zs.
How is that keeping in touch?
Yeah, we gotta bring some meme culture into this as well.
Well, yes, but if you're gonna bring meme culture into it, you gotta do it right.
Okay, then Bowie just yeeted it out of there.
That's not what I meant either. Ooh, as Crazy is pitting early again, so rehashing his old. Ooh, as he looks like, does he have damage again?
His front tire looks tiny bit bent in.
He's actually moving really slowly. Oh, as the donkey is. Oh, you can definitely see some pit shenanigans there with the Porsche drivers, but I wonder if Razy has had some sort of incident. So he's moving way too slow, even for pit lane speed.
Wait. Nah, he's the box.
So, podium winner from last time, definitely maybe having a couple of issues here. Starting in the back definitely has not helped the genetic guys at all. This definitely has put them in quite a few races.
It's just a little bit unfortunate. They can't seem to really be able to get good in qualifying, and then they sort of pay for it in the race.
Johnny really closes up there to that fountain section, just kind of keeping the momentum in. You can go on board with him, you can kind of see where he's making gains here. But also definitely just looking at the beautiful lights of this track. Ooh, there! Hondax put it in the wall a bit. Damaged an axle or something on that car.
I mean, if he was steering while he did that, he could have actually put that in his tires. Doesn't look like he's crapping.
You definitely take a few scrapes in these GT3 cars, but you don't want to push the limits too much.
I think Johnny's just a little bit unlucky. Oh, what happened there? Oh wait. I saw Mike coming around last corner. I thought that was Honda. As we say every time, yeah, very professional here.
Johnny got a really good run through there. He's gonna make a move to the fountain section, not quite. Definitely looking a lot faster in Sector 1 though. Hondax again put it in the wall, a little keeping defensive work on Johnny. Yeah, Johnny definitely looking for an opportunity now. Hondax definitely starting to make a couple more mistakes. But the difficulty of making the pass still is very high. Really, it only takes one mistake around here. You have to be rather flawless to get around here quick enough. See, even with the slipstream, Mercedes still quite fast in the straights, actually.
Must be the dash.
Still gonna bring the. Yeah, I suppose that makes sense. They're not gonna use it in the F1.
Look how we zoomed away. Look how we zoomed away in the straights.
If they're not gonna use it in the F1 race, they'll use it on the GT3 cars there, I guess. I mean, yes, we already know that the Mercs are using the DAS system, but I mean, in a practicality sense.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you have extra speed on the straights if you're still loose in the corners. Just trying everything you can think of to get around those Mercedes cars. Hondax defending to the inside there. It's one thing he doesn't want is he doesn't want Johnny to get down to the inside, because then he could really force him out.
Well, you know, if you're on the inside then on a track like this, you know, it doesn't really matter how much quicker. Doesn't matter how much quicker the outside line is. You can just force somebody into the wall that way, and it's not really your fault.
Yeah, definitely. But with this fight going on, Hondax has still pulled, or Bowie has still pulled a pretty far gap.
Yeah, I mean, if these two were planning on catching Bowie, not really doing a very good job on it here.
Well, I think they know that Bowie might be just a different level today, so definitely fighting for a spot on the podium, which Johnny definitely needs after Alton Park. Hondax definitely needs a podium to get back into the rhythm of things. Hondax again showing the sparks there, actually. Another battle that's going on is actually between Kaz and Joe. He's still trying to make his way back up, actually.
Not really a good race for the Audis.
Yeah, well, both of them had issues here today, especially with one of them already out of this race. So Kaz is the sole Audi left in this race. But Kaz had issues of his own, so he's still trying to make up that ground. Plus, he could also still... Actually, no, that's Kev who had that damage. See just how much momentum Johnny gets to the fountain section, but he can't really go anywhere with it. These Gazes out this as well, so I believe that's both of the Porsche drivers out of this race again, so there'll be no points on the dot for them.
I think the thing that's making this difficult for Johnny again.
This
the thing that's making this difficult for Johnny is he can't really find the speed on the straights. So he can't actually brake complex into any of the corners.
I assume because of the DAS system.
Could be. I mean, you know, if Hondex is running lower wings and stuff, like he'll be slightly more slipstream. Which will explain also why he's not really being able to get the car turned around to have more downforce. But on the straights like this, he'll be able to zip away.
Sure. So it's still a very long race, so. But Mike is starting to put a gap on Flip in 4th and 5th. Johnny's very close to the wall that time as well.
He's really trying to maximize everything now just to keep up and maybe get the move done soon.
Yeah, so trying to slow up that corner. I wonder if Johnny's still trying to set him up to maybe try to get the momentum through one of these turns, but even still, just a little too much downforce, although this could be what he needed, but a little too wide there.
He had so much more speed than Hondax. He had to just shoot wide. Oh! You see Mike there?
Yeah, just loose off the final turn. I think he'll still keep ahead of Flip though, he's got a little too much speed.
Yeah, Flip braked a little bit as well to make sure there was no contact. Then that's close up the competition again.
Right. Yeah, Mike once again kind of susceptible to Flip.
See if Flip can do what Johnny can't.
I mean, it'll be a lot more difficult though, because it was in an even less powered car than the McLaren, I believe.
I mean, if he can keep closer in the corners, it might be just what he needs. You can see on the exits of corners, he's so much closer than where he was on the straight, and then he just leaves that on the straight.
Right.
Oh, someone's lost it. Crazy.
Yeah, looks like just there in Sector 2 might have lost it a little bit. Kind of gained it back though. He's still in 11th, so he's not completely out of this, but certainly damage repairs have made it a lot more difficult for him to get back into this race. Well, now that we do have time, looks like the field spread. Ooh, there it is, UV. I was about to say, certainly looking like the time for first pit stops. Seems like UV making the first call there. Which does bring up an interesting point. Do you think Johnny and even Flip will pit to get the advantage on the Mercedes?
To me, it sort of seems more idealistic to, go as long as you can. But, then you do run into the problem of, if you pit now, maybe when you get out, you don't have any traffic, and if you wait, you might get traffic. But it's a bit hit and miss in that situation.
True.
So if you pit now, you're a bit more, and you have to pit for less. But,
past several races, we've seen how pitting early can really benefit these guys, especially Crazy was able to move all the way from outside the top 10 to a podium, so it's definitely still an option.
Yeah, Flip did the same at Laguna.
Going in the field is out. Slight contact with the wall there. Oh, and Honda's the wall a little bit more than that. But what I was going to say was the field is spread out a little bit more though, so maybe you do have an opportunity to come out not in traffic.
Yeah. Johnny very close now.
Still looking for the run, but I think at this rate you might have to think about more drastic maneuvers to get around, because that's still just kind of holding it up there really close to the back of the Merc.
Actually, 10 liters less.
Oh, there it is. That's Hondax in the pits. Oh, and Mike hit the wall behind him. There's some slight contact with the wall, but we'll just keep it together. But yeah, Hondax is in now, so he was the one who made the early call. So this releases Johnny into some clean air. Which does make this very interesting. We'll have to see if Hondax decides to take fuel or tires, because it always seems to trip up some guys in the running. Looks like fuel is in.
Just engine repairs here and there.
I don't think he's taking tires though. I know it is just a fuel stop because he's already out and away.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the track should be relatively cool.
Looks like he came out right in front of Jukebox actually. So he came out behind the Bentley. So this definitely could play a role in terms of traffic. Hondax can't get by Jukebox quick enough.
This could actually, yeah, cost him a lot of time.
You can see just how much he caught up there, just in the first sector alone. not on fresh tires, but just kind of on pure pace out of the pit lane. He's going to try to make the move down the inside. He is definitely going to try it. Very sketchy move there. Managed to make it work. Yeah.
And that would have held him up at least a little bit, so... Johnny, any hope of getting past? That must have been it.
Yeah. Even still with Mike and Flip as well. They're still ahead in this fight as well. Again, Flip has sort of lost some time compared to Mike. And now Jukebox has decided to come in as well.
Let's see if Jukebox takes tires.
One of Bentley's is, and the other Bentley is actually in 5th place, so Kaz still trying to make his way back up the grid because he's in 6th.
Jukebox can take tires.
But now I was gonna say, now that the field is sort of spread out a little bit, this is usually the time where we talk about random banter. So we might as well just get the elephant out of the room. Formula 1.
Coronavirus. Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate, but is it the right thing? Yeah, I mean, in certain aspects, yes, in certain aspects, no. I mean, you know, teams like Williams can't really afford this because it costs a lot of money to get all that stuff there. You know, personnel, cars, parts. And you know, some of these teams are paid on a per race, you know, aspect, and if they don't get that, it can hamper them quite a bit. We'll have to see what teams find of this, because you know, everyone's pretty much sticking it safe in terms of media, just saying it's the right thing. You know, in that aspect it is, because you know, it would be much worse if a lot of people in it get, you know, the virus and F1's out for a while. Minimalizing damage, I guess.
Damage control.
Damage control, I guess.
I see where you're coming from with that. Did you, what was it? Automobilistic 2, I believe, what was it? Did you see the news about that, too?
No. Yeah, what is it?
I think it was about how, they used the slightly mad engine for their game. So it pretty much looks similar to this game in Project Cars.
No. It could very well be, I don't really know.
But I mean, it looks like... I mean, it definitely looks like a lot more remastered version. I mean, you even have the full Suzuka circuit. It's like a
remastered version is... Yeah, but a remastered version is pretty much what this game needs. I mean, a revamped multiplayer, that sort of thing.
And now Flip is into the pits in the Ginetta.
See what Honda just comes out relative to him. He should come out way ahead. But let's see. This is actually a really long pit lane.
Yeah. I don't think anyone was doubting that it was short. Flip is just now getting into his pits now, I believe, as well as Kaz. 6. So, no question that Hondex will pass him.
So I'd have to be going by now if Flip wanted to keep ahead. Yeah, Hondex will pass. Oh, Cat's taking tires, I think. Oh no, couldn't see, but anyways.
Flip is not taking tires, so he's out in the way. She goes,
I think anyone's taking tires.
No, Kaz might be. He's still in there.
Could be damages.
Too.
Whatever it is.
Although he has the time to make it work for him, because he's really only fighting Joe for 5th. Mike is now in the pits as well.
200 schemes are relative because Mike and Flip were fighting, but Mike had the better pace. Yeah, he should easily pass.
Right. Mike in the pits as well now too. So it seems like really the only one who can pass Hondax on this strategy is Johnny. Hondax times have been really quick though.
I mean, he's the only one under 20 seconds.
Mike is out in the way, although he'll come out behind Hondax. Actually, it'd be interesting to see if Mike stays ahead of Flip, because he's coming around the last corner right now.
Mike is moving, actually. Let's check that.
I know, but he's pretty far from that pit exit. This will be really close if Flip can hook him there at the line. There's Mike right there in the Mercedes car. Indeed, Flip has gotten past Mike on pit strategy. So Flip, I believe, now up into de facto 4th place when this all cycles through. Got the Bentley of Joe just ahead, who hasn't pitted yet. But I think because Kaz took tires, he will remain in 6th place, I believe, when this all cycles through. So now, it just leaves when Johnny will pit, because Bowie is more than 11 seconds ahead of him.
I mean, Johnny is catching up to Bowie. I mean, look at 2 seconds difference between last lap.
Well, no, though I think Bowie's going through a lot of lap traffic right now. Speaking of which, he's decided to pit. Johnny will take over the de facto lead right now. Now I look at it, Johnny's actually got a lot of fuel.
Yeah, Johnny started 78 people, which is why I'm a little bit worried. At least from what we saw.
So he has more fuel than the timer right now, but that usually settles itself out by the end of this race, but we'll have to wait and see. We can't really tell. Like, sometimes the director feed isn't 100% accurate. So, is Johnny? He missed the turn there.
That is very bad.
That didn't look like he was going that fast.
Did he maybe lock his brakes? No, they've got ABS.
He's got ABS on.
Yeah. That is very confusing.
Yeah,
that'll have lost him a lot of time though.
Yeah, this way there's no way that he's going to be able to pass Hondax or catch up to Bowie at this rate with a mistake like that. Ooh, very strange accident.
Mike, wait, huh? Has Mike and Flip have actually passed Hondax in the pits?
Yeah, Hondax has had something happen to him. So, actually his lights are out. While we were distracted with, Johnny, something happened to Hondax. Yeah, Hondax definitely has Johnny has damage, or Hondax has damage, excuse me.
Yeah, his car's shaking a little bit under braking as well.
You can see his back lights are on, but not his front lights, so his lights are on. Or at least they're attempted to be. I think both of his front lights are knocked out. So he has definitely made heavy contact somewhere on the track.
doesn't look that bad, but
Well, on a track like that, it's not very high speed, but he's actually still continuing out there. Wonder if you can even still see out that thing with the lights.
that's what it looks like. I mean, for me, I still see the lights.
Well, those are the track lights.
No, I see. Oh,
Ooh, just the. That's I think that might be one of the Nissans. Yeah.
that'll have lost Hondex a lot of time.
Well, look,
Like that
thankfully,
they keep you.
thankfully he won't need too many lights because the track is always lit. Yeah, that's how you make a reference. So Joe is now in for his scheduled pit stop, so this turn of events, you might actually get up into the top 5 with this. Ooh, there's, Flip. What happened to Flip? He's fallen down too. Flip has made contact with the wall. Oh, and that's made a huge incident.
Oh, have he hit the wall again?
Oh, he's got to be very careful. He's got 2 coming through now. That's Johnny and Hughes, I believe. But what unfortunate luck, Flip, I believe, has just hit that tire barrier that's just there in turn sector 2. Ooh! It's made contact with his teammate. Oh, that's just the worst thing possible. And Flip, I believe, has been disqualified. No, I think he got disqualified.
For stopping on track.
Yeah. That is the
unfortunate.
worst way to go out that I've seen in a while. So things are still happening. And Johnny is now... Actually, when did Johnny get such a... Actually, no, I believe his lead hasn't increased that much. Although Joe is still...
It was 20 seconds. He's gained 8 seconds.
No, that's the timer. Just wait for the timer to go through. But I was going to say, Joe decided to take tires, so that means Kaz and Razy have moved up to 6th and 7th, although we'll have to see if Razy pits for that damage again. Which he's now battling Kaz, so Kaz could pit Razy for 6th here, actually, if that damage wasn't too much.
His front bumper is barely on.
Yeah.
That seems like maybe a little bit of axle damage.
I mean, that's
steering.
just some unfortunate luck, really.
I mean, yeah, it was just bad timing. He wanted to start spinning around, and then his teammate comes around.
I mean, it's bad enough that you spin around there, but also bad enough that the one person who hits you is also your teammate. Yeah, it looks like Flip is staying out, or Razy's staying out, so Kaz is definitely a possibility to pass him on track. Now that Joe is sort of out of the question here, although he's not too far back. But now that we have a moment to sort of process this, Johnny has yet to pit, although his situation is still undetermined.
I mean, it is a mandatory pit stop, isn't it?
I mean, it's really only as mandatory as your fuel.
Yeah, but I mean, the rule is 70 liters, so that you are forced to make a pit stop.
Like I said, we'll have to wait and see. Like I said, this could all just sort of work itself out by the end of it. So for now, we'll simply still call Bowie the de facto leader, which would make Mike currently in 2nd place in Hondax, despite his issues and no headlights. De facto 3rd, although he is being chased down by Dalavan now, as Johnny does decide to pit.
Let's see where Hondax and Mike come out in relation.
Hondax is all the way back here, so looks like Johnny will most likely come out in 3rd.
I mean, he was 50 seconds behind.
Bowie, I believe, is coming out along the final corner now to retake the lead. just 20 minutes to go. Actually, could Johnny actually get out ahead of Mike? Be very close to see.
Well, he'd have to be moving now, I think.
Oh, he is moving.
Yeah,
now.
he is.
This
could be
close.
the Merc strategy on the Mercs.
Yes, thank you for that.
Ooh, this is gonna be close.
No, it's too far.
Mike's gonna get it.
Yeah. So Johnny, with that mistake, is still lost the position to Mike, who will now take over second place. Actually, Hondax isn't too far away either.
Hondax will see him, but he won't be able to do anything.
True, but Hondax will still be up to speed. It's quite a bit to hit the curb, but... Do you actually still see his headlights on your screen?
Yeah.
Because I don't. And it's hilarious. Because it's just total darkness wherever he drives by.
Ooh, now we can see is the Merc that overpowered.
I mean, yes, and probably yes. Hondax definitely thought about him, but better there. So with that, Bowie has actually increased his gap to about 22 seconds on Mike, so I highly doubt they'll be able to chase him down here, so... Ooh, Johnny, really close. He almost hit the tire barrier there. That allows Hondax around the outside. Is he going to dive it down into the final quarter? He does. He pushes Johnny out wide.
That was rude. Fair but rude.
I mean, how else are you going to make the move?
Yeah.
So Hondax, despite his efforts, is actually back up in the third again.
Yeah, this is pretty much the most ideal situation they can be in right now.
Ooh, Johnny hit the wall there. See him just at the edge.
Sounds like a country song. Johnny hit the wall.
I only said it because he was gunning for the camera so quickly.
Johnny hit the wall and was gunning for the camera.
Well, it wouldn't be the stupidest country song I've heard.
That's an interesting quote.
Meanwhile, while all this is happening, Razy has fallen down to 9th, so Joe and Yuvi have actually gotten up into 7th and 8th. And Joe actually now keeping up with Kaz, so hasn't been able to gain as much speed as we thought he would after pit stops, although Joe is on fresher tires. Ooh, Johnny, or something happened. Yeah, Johnny and Hondax are still going at it. Johnny was able to make the move back on Hondax.
Oh, we missed that. That makes you sad about that one. Can Hondax pull it back though? It's close.
Dash system engaged.
Look at him zoom!
I mean, it's the closest thing he's gonna get to DRS in that thing.
Yeah. They should actually put DTM cars in the next one. If there is a next one. Does have a DRS, don't they?
Yeah. Not quite. Definitely both of them are on equal pacing now. Ooh, Hondax. Oh, I thought he was gonna go into the tire barrier there.
John Dex.
I said Hondax.
Oops, sorry.
Well, one person we haven't talked about all day, Dalavan, is sort of just having a basic day here in 5th place, you know, just going for ordinary Saturday drive, really. I mean, I thought he would be a little bit higher up the grid, but it seems like he just hasn't gotten the same pace as the leaders this week. So definitely have to wait a little bit longer until they get...
Hondax is gonna make it here, yeah.
Well, I was gonna say for last week's race winner, definitely have to wait another week to get back into gear for the Cadillacs, but right now, once again, it is the Merc of Hondax on the McLaren of Johnny. And before commentators curse strike, if Johnny can hold this will be his best finish of the season, and the first podium for McLaren this season.
Knock on wood, boys, knock on wood.
Well, I'm just saying, before anything happens, I'm not gonna call to any god to forsaken anyone here. I'm just stating facts.
In before Cypher Night ruins the whole race.
I don't claim to do that intentionally.
Intentionally.
I mean, why else would you have me here?
I just imagine you sitting in your house, just like all that voodoo witch stuff, right?
You don't know me. You don't know what I'm about.
You don't know what the voodoo lifestyle's about.
Either way, 15 minutes left, and still very much all to play for.
Let's see if the steering wheel moves.
No, I think it did just a bit. It really did look like it moved, though. That might just be the bumpy track.
It does actually seem like Johnny's filling a bit of a gap now.
Perhaps, although we've seen the car in front be able to maintain the gap quite well around here. Johnny definitely taking a little bit more of a defensive line in. Lewis on that.
As that's happened, this will definitely not be Honda's cleanest race.
Oh, you don't say.
I think out of all the races we've commentated with him, which is this season and last season, but like you with the GT4 as well.
Well, you weren't really here last week, so you didn't really know what happened either.
Oh.
Well,
yeah.
Go on.
This won't be his finest moment, I think. I mean, it's not a bad race in the sense of position, though.
Well, I think he has a lot more to worry about than that.
I mean, his only competition with the Audis are gone, dusted.
True. They're not completely irrelevant, because, well, still got
sick, but...
Still got Dalavan, which is still technically in this fight as well. It's only just behind him, so... It's actually, Ooh! Oh, he made contact with Johnny there in the back and spun.
Do I call that commentators curse? Because you were just talking about how they were in the championship fight, and now they're gonna fight on track. I'm counting that.
That doesn't count. I wasn't even really focused on him, but fine. I guess if you're saying that my negative energy has somehow transcended this video game and implied on the Hondax, then fine, by all means, I don't care.
You say you don't care, but...
I don't care.
That tone suggests otherwise.
Whatever. Oh, they'll see the race, they know what happened. What are you counting at 10 now?
Yes, actually we are at 10 now.
Fantastic. Not even halfway through the season, we're already at 10.
We're not even through. Wait, this is the end of leg 1, isn't it?
Yes. So yes, these drivers will be looking forward to a break week next week. Oh no! See, there's the curse. Oh! Hit the into the wall. Okay, now we're at 11. Have to be careful though, because here it goes! And Dalavan too. It's Joe going backwards. Is that Joe? It's a jukebox.
Let's see, I think it's jukebox.
Well, it was jukebox. Well, now this has gotten interesting because now the McLaren and the Cadillac are now all together. So this is not. This is something that now happened.
World record.
Okay, well. Oh, here comes Dalavan on the inside of the McLaren. Is he going to try to make the move on Hondax? Hondax blocking to the inside. Although I think that is Dalavan up in the 4th place now. Oh, Hondax almost hit the wall again. And now Johnny's going to try to... Not 3 wide, you idiot.
I just love saying that.
Contact.
Oh, and Hondax as well with the wall.
Yes. So I guess...
The race is lit up a bit.
that was not fun. Oh, Hondax once again. I think he had a time penalty or something. Oh, that makes contact with Dalavan going into turn 1. Oh, that's Hondax or Johnny. Now that's a lot of damage. Yeah, that's how you do it. And here comes Kaz now too. Coming for 5th.
Oh, Johnny. Okay, I'm calling that one as well because you said this was going to be his best finish.
Oh, shut up! We still have a battle for 3rd going on. As Kaz kind of launched the car off the curb.
So that's 4.
Remember when I said... Remember when I said nothing was happening to Dalavan this race? Well, I guess that changed pretty... Ooh! Hondex's spoiler!
That could actually have really big implications, because that'll be a lot of rear downforce. Well, I'm actually calling that 5 because of the Dalavan thing as well.
But Kaz is still fighting Johnny for 5th, though. Which I think...
I'm not just going to take these corners now, because this would be a lot of time lost.
And meanwhile, now Hondax is now... not Hondax. Johnny now, I think, has lost his lights, because Kaz is now up into 5th place.
Yeah, he had a really big collision with the wall.
Hondax deciding to stay out, though. So...
I mean, it's only, what, 5 laps roughly, and, you know...
I mean, that's still a long time around here.
Yeah.
Ooh, Hondax. He's got loose even through the straight.
Yeah, he's lost a lot of rear downforce. This could be really big for him.
Yeah, so now he's very susceptible to Kaz and Johnny behind him, although I suspect he's turned that traction control all the way up.
I mean, yeah, but look how much time, he's already lost almost a second to Kaz. He's lost over a second to Kaz in 3 corners.
Yeah. Someone just said if they crash, Joe will get a top 5. And that might be a dream a little bit too far forward.
That's a bridge a bit too long.
Now I know that in the past 5 minutes, a lot of things have happened, but I really do feel like that's wishing for too much.
I mean, I'm sure if Bowie, Mike, Dalavan, Hondax, and Kaz all, pile up into one thing, and John just falls off immediately, Joe can get a win, but...
No, top 5, really.
I mean, top 5 is still plausible.
Plausible, he says. Top 5 is a really good achievement for some drivers.
No, I mean, yeah. Don't get me wrong, top 5, especially with the field this competitive, it's actually really good, but... it's nothing to scoff at a top 5 with this group, but... I think it's a bridge too far for now for Joe.
Sorry, the Mercedes just looks so weird with that.
I think it looks better without the rear wing.
Meanwhile, while all this is happening, Kaz has now gotten up in the 4th, so much about gaining points on the Audis today.
Don't at me, but...
You can blame him on that one.
I feel like I should call that another one, because we said that... Because I said the Audis were done and dusted, I'm calling that one. World record.
Oh no, Johnny in the wall, I saw that in the back.
Wait, what were we saying about Joe not getting top 5?
Shut up, it's only 6th.
You have to get P6 to get P5, so...
Lord. What is happening right now?
Everything's happening.
He still has to get past Hondax in less than 5 minutes.
Hondax has lost his rear wing.
I bet someone in the audience is... Good Lord.
So wait, how much is this now? Wait, that's 10. We're at 14.
14? Where did the extra 4 come from?
literally the last
It
10
went
minutes.
from 10 to 14.
In the last 10 minutes, 4 points have come this way.
How do you go from 10 to 14?
Dude, I've been counting the little things, okay?
You've been counting the little things, he says.
I have.
Whatever, man. Whatever.
Actually, Joe's actually gaining a lot of time on Honda.
Yes, he doesn't have a real spoiler. I wonder why.
He's only at 3 seconds. I'm praying for Joe right now, just so he can get it. If he gets it, if he gets P5, I'm adding 5 points to the.
Shut up! Shut up!
You said it was impossible.
I didn't.
He did 2.7. 2.3.
Sake. I can't right now. I cannot with you.
He's right there. He's right there.
Yes,
Come
I
on, Joe.
can see that.
Do it for us. Joe, do
You really
it for
think
us.
Hondax is just gonna let this happen?
Joe, do it for the lads. Please,
God
Joe, do it for the
bless.
lads.
Wait,
I'm just gonna rear spoiler when we're in cockpit mode now.
No, he doesn't. At least not for me.
Wait, no, he doesn't. Never mind.
It's
When
a
we're
shadow.
far away, it had, yeah, it's a shadow. It's a weird shadowing. Look at him. Under a second. Under a second. Come on. Come
Yeah,
on,
this
Joe.
totally isn't favoritism at all.
Joe. I want this so bad.
Yeah, clearly.
And not even so, like for the championship or anything. Just to prove you wrong.
You proved me wrong.
Come on, Joe. He's on the outside.
In case you're wondering, I can't do anything about the cameras. This is all him.
I mean, there's no other battles right now, so. Oh, as somebody has spun it though. That's not interesting. He's passed! That's top 5! Whoever said top 5, I love you.
Still 2 minutes. Shit hasn't been decided yet.
Come on, Joe. You literally have to do nothing but drive clean. I'm adding 5 right now. That's 11.
Meanwhile, while all this has been happening, Bowie looks to... You know, I'm not even gonna say anything. I'm not even gonna say anything.
Are you not gonna be happy for Joe that he's gonna get a top 5 finish? Are you not gonna be happy for him?
It's not that I'm happy, it's just that I'm more concerned that I was proven wrong. And isn't that what's more important?
Yes.
Just cut the Bowie already. He's on his last lap. Or second to last lap.
Joanna, ladies and gentlemen, we got him. We proved all the haters wrong. By all the haters, I mean Cypher 976.
I am not a hater! I just said it would take an awful lot for him to get into the top 5.
I mean, I guess technically you are right. An awful lot did happen for him to get into top 5. Yeah.
I just didn't expect it to happen in the time span of 10 minutes.
10 minutes? You mean 1 lap?
It was not 1 lap.
No, it almost was. From when you said it's not gonna happen to when it happened, it was 1 or 2 laps.
Why you go back into the freaking replay and watch for yourself?
Okay, I will.
Fine. Meanwhile, Bowie started his final lap. Well, one thing has been consistent today. It's the Nissan's pace, and well, like I said, I should have expected this. I did practice with the guys, so I guess I should have seen this coming.
Bowie has been nothing but flawless.
Pretty much, so... I mean... for everything, it'll be quite the spectacle. This will be our 3rd different manufacturer win in 4 races. This will be Audi,
Hope
Cadillac.
Bowie doesn't celebrate too hard and accidentally lose ram it into the wall.
Nah,
Yeah, Joanna agrees. 2 laps that happened. In 2 laps from when you said it's not gonna happen.
don't encourage him. Whatever. Bowie will come across the line to score the first victory for Nissan and his first win here at Long Beach. Congratulations. You all know, Mike seems to be like one of the few clean cars, although I think he had a few scrapes with the wall too.
Yeah. Overall, it was actually a pretty good race for Mike. He didn't really make too many mistakes, and you could see it's paying off. P2. Good on him. Dalavan, who, I quote, nothing is gonna happen with Dalavan. This could be a pretty solid P3 as long as he can keep it away from Cass.
It looks like he will, though. Actually, well, considering Bowie lapped all the way up to Hondax in 6th, well,
yeah.
this is all but confirmed at this point. So Hondax will finish 6th, Johnny finishing 7th, Razy 8th, UV 9th, Toby 10th, and Jukebox 11th. The final man on the podium is Dalavan.
Yeah, everyone's saying Joe's got to get an interview. So
and Kaz will finish 4th place. And well...
the man, the myth, the legend, Joe Black will be finishing P5.
Whatever. Whatever. Whatever.
You sound genuinely salty as well. That's
Whatever.
The best part of it.
Here's your top 10. I don't care anymore. Your DNFs include Kev, Daza, and Dodonki.
And Flip Flip.
Well, yeah, well, he's still in here, so...
Yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna make sure that Joe actually wants to do a interview.
I hate to ask, but who is your driver of the day?
I mean, I could say Joe Black, but I'm not gonna lie, he didn't have to do much for that P5. I mean, yeah, he had to drive fast, but wasn't much of a challenge to get past Hondex, I think, once he lost his rear spoiler. But driver of the day. I mean, Johnny was doing really well until his unfortunate crash, but Bowie kept it, clean the entire race. He didn't have a single incident, so.
Yeah. I mean, Bowie also... Bowie had the fastest lap too, which is an accomplishment in itself around a street circuit like this, so I'd have to give it to Bowie as well for driver of the day. But, it's up to the fan interpretation, I suppose.
Sorry, I'm back. Just good to hear. Come on, I'm assuming he wants to, so...
So yes, stick around for interviews.
For the Joe Black interview,
We don't know if he's gonna get interviewed just yet.
Kev says he has to.
Well, stick around. We'll see who we can get.
He's not online though on Discord.
Worst case scenario, I could do it.
Is he still online on PlayStation though? Yeah, it's right. I'll just send him an invite, and then if he joins, he joins. If he doesn't join, he doesn't join.
Besides, I'm sure there will be plenty of banter in the Discord chat anyways.
Yo, check the Discord.
Yes, I checked the Discord. I know that they watched the video.
Oh, okay,
so...
wait. Bowie wants to get in, yeah. We're gonna do that as well. It was banter last 2 times, so.
I was gonna say, I know they watch our videos and they'll just see us non-stop 5 minutes of ridiculous shenanigans. Oh, actually.
Hello, the man, the meme, the legend, Joe Black himself.
Hello, can you hear me?
Bowie. Yes.
Yep.
Good. Good.
So, how was that finish tonight?
That was surprising. Very surprising. You know, the plan was just to don't hit anything and just, I don't know, come 10th, 12th, something like that. But I knew from the GT5 race that there's going to be a few people hitting the wall, and so I just took it very easy, and surprised to get Hondax on, I think, last 4 minutes. So like he must have hit something because he had no rear wing when I come across him, and he tried to defend, but you know, it was pointless.
Oh, trust me, we saw everything. We were acting crazy for the past 5 minutes.
Joanna said when there were 10 minutes to go, if they all crashed out, Joe could get a top 5, and then I was insistent on you getting the top 5, and Cypher Knight 77 was not very. I'm just gonna keep saying your entire name, by the way. Was not allowing you to do it.
No, it's when you know, I've done them things before. You make a silly statement, you know, and it all goes on. I've got a wedding to book now, apparently. Yeah, she said before the race, if you finish in the top 5, because I said the plan was to start last and finish somewhere last. You know, not anything. She said, finish in the top 5, I'll marry her. And famous last words. It was really good fun. I don't know what everyone else was like, but it was totally clean around me. You know, I didn't come across anybody really that Kaz knew. I think would put up a bit of a fight, but I think he hit a few barriers. Otherwise, I listened to the kids. Just hang in there. You know,
never give up.
No, that's right. Never give up. You never know.
Quite. It's nothing personal. I just said that it would take a miracle. And by all means, it happened.
Miracles do happen. Well, you know, it's one of my highest finishes so far. Especially, well, in this series it is, but. Well, I've had a third, but that's about it. I've never had a first or a second. But he's getting there. I don't know what's happened to Bowie lately. He's on fire. he's just. You know, we were like in GT4 a couple of seasons ago, maybe last season. We were together. Now he's just setting the place alight. It's just amazing.
I've picked a little bit less wide car. I think that's it.
I don't know. Nissan's pretty good, but yeah. I thought everyone would go for the Ferraris and the Lamborghinis, you know. So that's why I chose the what is it, the Rover I got, something like that. But I would have gone for a Lambo or a Ferrari if nobody else wanted them. But still, it's a fun car. It was handling perfect around that thing. There's no understeer, no oversteer. I was holding back quite a lot, you know, because I didn't want to hit anything. And you know, when I saw their times in practice, they were doing 1:17s, I think, something like that. You know, I've never done as fast as I'd done was just under 20. So there was no way I was going to catch them. But it was good. It was. From what I could see from my end, it was a good, clean race. Nothing to see on the first
I think John will have something else to say about that.
Was there? Oh, good. I'll have to watch the replay.
It all fell apart.
Did it?
It really did.
For Johnny, it was really unfortunate. He was running in P3, P4 against Hondax, and then he hit the wall once, and that was pretty much his race done. And then I think you came across him.
Well, actually,
Yes.
before that, he collided with Jukebox, actually.
Oh yeah, that was it. Yeah.
You played with Jukebox.
Yeah.
Oh, good old
Yeah.
Juke.
Good shot for your teammate.
Our plan did work.
I had a code brown at some point in turn 2 because I was coming in hot, and suddenly there was a McLaren of Johnny just blocking the track.
Yeah,
I was going sideways with all fours just towards him, and at the last point I got to steer away from him, but no worked out, nothing hit, apart from a few barriers here and there.
Yeah, it's you got to be. I think you got to be really lucky on that track. You know, someone spins in front of you, and you either plough into the back of them or just, you know, it's just pot luck if you can. I can't remember what lap it was. Someone spun out, and I thought Duke was going to hit him. I was following Duke, and we just managed to get past. I think
was
he might have been Razy.
No, Flip spun and Flip spun and Razy hit him. Yeah, it was really unfortunate for them too.
Yeah, so I said to Duke before the race, I said, don't follow anybody too closely, because one mistake and you'll just plough into the back.
Yep.
And we stuck to it. I think. Well, I try to stick to my plan. I don't know if he stuck to his, but yes, roll on the next race.
I think I had the luck that I had nobody to follow, except for people that get blue flags, so that was my good thing, I think.
Yeah, then on to Bowie. A very flawless race. We didn't see you make a single mistake from start to finish.
Oh, apparently you didn't watch the stream right then.
Oh, you weren't really fighting with anyone, so...
I was fighting with myself, I know that. I've hit just before I did a pit stop, I believe a lap before, I hit a barrier a little bit too hard. I think it was the right-hander before that long left-hander towards the last turn. It gave me about 13 damage at the front, and I went on because I wanted to do a little bit longer stint towards the end. But I just decided to pit anyway because my steering was a little bit off. And afterwards it was a pretty clean race. I hit the barrier maybe one time and had 3 front and 3 rear damage. And one of them was because of Jukebox, who was standing in the middle of the track, who almost took me out. But for the rest, no, it was a pretty clean race. So especially from my point, like I said, I had a few code browns where people were in the middle of the track, but for the rest, it was pretty clean. Yeah.
On my side, I had I just clipped one barrier, but I've got no damage from it, but it just upset the car, and I think I lost about 2 seconds. But from the start to finish, I had no damage whatsoever.
Oh wow!
You know, I was just being so cautious, and it you know, played out in the end, because I think at the end, the last 5 minutes, 10 minutes, car was perfect, and you know, you just knew around you that other cars had damage.
Yeah.
And you just sort of say potluck, and it'll come off.
That's what I had in the beginning as well. I was trying to be cautious in the beginning, especially, and Johnny was following me for a long time until I think he spun in the last turn in lap 3 or 4 or so, and he got passed by Honda, and Honda held him up very drastically, which gave me a lot of time ahead. I think about 8 seconds at some point. And after the pit stops, I managed to not pit for tires. My tires were fine the entire race. Maybe the furthest off I was of my best time was maybe 3/10. It was all just very consistent, so I managed to pull out the gap to, what was it, 25 seconds on the finish. So I was very lucky with that Honda held him up, and in the end Johnny, of course, had bad luck. But
yeah, well, I say you make your own luck really as well, don't you? You know, it's I don't think I had a really good race. There was no one around me, I don't think, to race with. You know, so actually as a race, it was pretty boring for me, but it was just consistency. That's what I had to concentrate on.
yeah,
And,
same for me.
If you did hit a barrier and that, it just sort of upset the car, and it took you a little while to get a few bends to get back into it.
Yeah.
And I remember what Bowie said about the last race he was in, where they didn't repair the wing and that, and all of a sudden I lost traction after I pitted, and I thought the same thing's happening, you know. So I just slowed it down, clicked it all together. I must have lost about 5 seconds. Who was I following? I followed Kaz knew, I think I was following. I was 4 seconds behind, and time I sort of recovered, I was about 8 seconds. And You know, but I'd say I got back into the swing of it, and just don't panic.
No, especially that, yeah. Don't panic. Just get a little bit too hard on yourself. Just try and focus a little bit too much, and you also make the mistake of going wide or understeering, and then you're into the barrier. That's it.
Yes, right, yeah. Yeah, and on that track you've got nowhere to go but hit the barrier, haven't you? You know, it's not like I don't know, a nice like Silverstone Classic where you can spin off and you won't hit nothing for 200 or 300 yards. You know,
you can pretty much get the entire track there at some point.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna have a shower now because I'm wringing wet.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Dutch might as well conduct this interview because, well, I'm clearly being attacked.
Okay, well, thanks for listening to me, and see you all soon.
Yeah, good race, Joe.
Okay,
see you next
thank you
week.
very much. Thank
Oh
you.
no, next week's a break week.
That's
Oh,
right.
yeah,
it's
no,
holiday week. So
Maybe some point during practice for the week afterwards. Let's put it like that.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks very much.
Right.
See you soon.
See ya.
See ya.
Yeah.
Right, now, any questions for me now, or?
Well, axe Dutch.
Well, what did you see? Did you have any cool battles? I don't really think so, but
Yeah, I legit had
also,
none.
Well, strategy then. You know, was there any sort of concern that you might burn your tires out or something, or was it really good?
In the beginning, during practice, it seemed like the tire wear was going to be a problem because, of course, you're running on softs on here, which is pretty much every race for the Nissan. The hards just don't work on that car, so we always run with the softs. And it seemed like the tire wear will be very drastic on this track. I mean, a lot of bends, a lot of turning, so we were trying to get the fuel done as well, because the fuel, to get it right, how much you have to fuel in the pit stop, just didn't feel right. It just seemed like it was way too less to actually pit, but at some point, I think I crossed the finish line with 4 liters left, so it was perfectly spot on. But like I said just before, my strategy was to go as long as possible on my first stint, to get the least amount of fuel in the end, to get as much speed as I could. But I hit the barrier at some point, gave me 13 damage, so I had to pit anyway. And afterwards, my pace was pretty much the same just before, and I pitted for the fuel and for the repairs that had to be done, but the tires were not done, because I felt the tires were great still. And yeah, like I just said, the pace was still exactly the same as before the pit stops, so it worked out very well, yeah.
Right. Well, it was certainly an interesting race from our perspective. I mean, you guys will see the replay once this goes up.
Oh, I think so, yeah.
So...
I've heard a few things from Kev when he was spectating the stream, and he was like, oh, this happened, or that happened. And I was like, don't see anything of it, but sure.
Well, that's because everything happened behind you.
Yeah. I really had the luck of being in front. I'm going to be honest, I had no idea where that pace came from, because during practice, especially Mike and I believe Honda CTS were way faster than me. They were putting in pretty much the same pace as me. And Flip I saw putting in a very fast lap time in quali as well. But for some reason, it just worked out a lot tonight. And gonna be honest, my qualifying lap wasn't even the perfect lap. I think I could have gone maybe 3 tenths, 4 tenths faster. But still gave me pole position, so I'm very happy with it.
Alright. Well, I guess we better call it quits for the day. Figured wouldn't want it to drag on too long, because I know there's a few eagle-eyed people who want to see the stream afterwards replay.
Yeah.
So, I guess we'll just end it off here.
Alright.
Alright, well, I've been Cypher Knight 77.
I've been Dutch Miso.
I'm the winner of tonight.
And we'll see you in 2 weeks when we take on the second leg of GT3 racing. But your winner today is Bowie, so congrats to you, and we hope to see you all in 2 weeks.